Good morning, everybody. You are watching live with Bee-Man Dan. Today we are doing a beehive removal right here in the eaves. As usual, I've already got them open and exposed, smoked up. They were a little bit feisty. I got one that's actually trying to attack me right now, so I'm going to go ahead and put my glove on while we're talking. They were a little bit feisty, but not too bad. They'll probably flare up a bit as I start cutting out the comb. I always do I smoke up 15 to 30 minutes beforehand from the start, and then once I get the hive open and exposed, I give it another good application of smoke, and then I give them about 30 minutes to calm down, eat the honey, and such. And so we're now at that point where we're ready to move forward. I just gotta grab my glove that I dropped over here. So it looks like the hive has been here for less than 2 years. I'm hoping that I've got it completely exposed. The only spot that they could be behind brick, and they could be behind some structure that I just can't really see. Hopefully that's not the case. But I even took the time to do a breach up here in the eaves portion above, and I didn't find any honeycomb in there, so that's a good sign. So I think it is more likely that they are just in this section, because when bees bees are very OCD and symmetrical. They like to fill in the cavity space that they have immediate access to, and once they fill out that space, the following year, as they build out comb, they'll start building it into all sections that they can gain access to, and so it'll go from being in one spot to 6 to 9 spots, and that's when things can get out of hand. So I'm glad that they got to it now, because it looks like that probably would have been the case the following year. So let me get you guys turned around. It's a little hard when you're wearing gloves. Come on. Hang on, guys. There we go. All right. I'm gonna bring this smoker down, put you all in its place. I'm gonna put you guys right about here, maybe a little bit higher. Yeah, that'll do. Hopefully you guys are not too much in my way, but we'll see what we can do. We're going to be humanely extracting these bees so that I can relocate them to my apiary, where they can recover and continue to thrive in our environment. That trash pickup coming through. don't get much worse than this, because I am in a subdivision and I have to be very mindful of the general public, especially when people are taking their kids for a walk or their dog for a walk. You know, they might get attacked, so I have to like look over my shoulder at all times, make sure that nobody's coming. And a lot of times I'll find them standing from the sidewalk, staring in amazement. And well, it's not exactly the wisest thing in my opinion. But people are curious species, so I'm gonna get some honey out here first. So there's gonna be a little bit of a mess. It's really tricky when the honeycomb is completely built out like this, because it's no real good spot to start. Lots of honey is already dripping, and I've only removed one piece. Yeah, that's annoying. Like I'm making more mess than I am removing, but you know, that's just the nature of the work. But they got some nice good honey here though. I am certain that there's going to end up being honey on my phone, but it would not be the first time, so whatever. These kind of removals can be kind of tricky because the roof is at an angle and they have roof nails that prevent my tool from cleanly cutting away the comb, but not really a whole lot I can do about that. Yeah. Go for another piece instead. Oh, there it goes. A couple of bees wanted to get a close-up. Say hi to y'all. I try my best to keep the comb whole, not only just to avoid a mess, but also as you're destroying comb, it releases a pheromone that the bees recognize as their hive being destroyed. Think of it how like you go into a carpentry shop and you can smell that fresh cut wood. Well, they can smell the fresh cut and destroyed comb, and that can stir them up. As I mentioned before, a lot of times it's unavoidable. Today is one of those days, but we still want to always make an effort to try to keep it clean and whole as best as possible. That was actually a pretty good little piece considering. And take this time to make a mention that we are entering swarm season. This is the time of the year where bees reproduce, and the way they do it is a queen will go into overtime. She'll lay up to 3,000 eggs a day. During the winter time, she won't be laying as many to keep the population down. That way they don't have so many mouths to feed, because they're just hibernating. That's the whole reason why they collect honey, is to have honey to last them throughout the winter, where they don't have to go out foraging. Especially as if they did go out foraging, there wouldn't be anything blooming. So they hibernate during the winter. They don't lay as many eggs, the queen. But once spring starts to come in, that's a really good, it's a good cutout right there. Once spring comes in, the queen will go into overtime, and she'll lay up to 3,000 eggs a day, which cumulatively will outweigh her by 3 times her body mass. Which, if you think about, and she'll do that every day for the whole swarm season. And if you think about that, you have to imagine how much she is eating to be able to pop out 3 times her body mass. That's an insane amount of eggs and royal jelly that she's got to consume. Royal jelly is her only diet. She doesn't eat honey, she doesn't eat nectar, pollen, just royal jelly. Hence why it's called royal jelly, because, well, for the most part, it's exclusive to the queen only. Okay, I had a big drop of honey land on one of my lenses, but it's not the one y'all are looking at, so that's good. But anyway, she'll lay up to 3,000 eggs a day, and eventually the hive will start to become overpopulated, where there's not enough bees to be inside of the structure. And so a lot of them will start to mass on the outside of the structure. This is what is known to as bee bearding. They'll start clinging on to one another, and it looks a lot like an old man's beard, hence bee beard. And then there's actually some larvae in here, so I'm going to cut that portion out. Once the queen is pretty much satisfied that she'll lay an egg in a queen cell, and then come out, merge with all the other worker bees that are hanging out outside, and then they'll all drop at once. And that big mass, a new swarm, will find a new home to colonize. And they often travel pretty far, but the queen, she's not a very strong flyer. Really good piece. She's not a very strong flyer, so she has to rest often. And a lot of people will see, ow, crap. One stung me in a little hole in my glove, right in the palm. Very painful. Nothing I can do about it. Boy, that hurts. But anyway, let's see if I can't sting her out if it's in there. Oh well, I can't really do anything about it. I have tiny little holes in my gloves. Oh, would you look at that? There's more honey on the camera. Yeah, y'all definitely can't see anything now. All right, hold on, guys. I'll get something to wipe the lens. Let's get this. Lots of honey in this lens. this might be futile, but I'm gonna try. Okay, that looks like it might work. Yep, y'all are good to go again. You're welcome. All right. Well, I'm still working in this direction. I'm gonna keep working that way. Oh, that's mud dauber. Okay. I don't have the bee vac going right now because there's not especially a lot to vacuum up right now, and it's just loud and annoying, really. That's a really good piece of cutout right there. All right. I think it won't be long before I do get the vacuum back up and running again. Oh man, it goes way up there. I'm not surprised. These corner eaves can be really tricky because they have all these 2x4s that in every which direction. And the roof had a weird angle, and the nails that are in. I suppose if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Oh, one's going in my glove. When they get in my glove, I've got zero mercy. I will squish them in my glove before they get the chance to sting me. At least I try. Sometimes they're pretty evasive. Man, I hate doing these. One really fat piece of honeycomb right in between here, but man, it does not want to come free. It really does not. I don't know what it's attached by, but I have to cut it sectionally. There we go. Come on. Come free. Come on. Come on. There we go. Wow, big piece. Take a look at that, guys. That's like 5 pounds of honey right there. What's crazy is it didn't pull down the piece I thought it was going to pull down. Oh. As I was saying about swarm season, you're going to see, if you're fortunate to see a swarm, you know, hanging from a mast, or if you see it on Facebook, one of your friends posting a picture of a basketball size swarm of honeybees, you know, a lot of people are going to want to spray them while they're exposed because they're freaking out, and I understand they're scary, I do, but it is so important to leave those bees alone, or because ultimately they're gonna fly off and move on to somewhere else. You know, like they like to be in enclosed spaces, not hanging from a branch where they're exposed to everything. And when they're in a swarm like that, a lot of times you can get free swarm removals, because it's very easy for a local beekeeper to place a box underneath them and then shake them free from the branch, and they all fall in, and then the job is done in under 30 minutes with nothing more than a bucket. And so that's why those jobs can be often free. But when you're talking about cutouts like we're doing right here, that requires a whole level of experience in the construction and beekeeping. So this is a very specialized profession. So when it comes to these, it's gonna cost you money. And if you happen to find somebody who's willing to do it for free, you should probably keep moving, because the only ones that are going to do it for free are people that are inexperienced, and they're going to guinea pig your house for it. And they will do oftentimes a lot of damage to your home, and they won't complete the job. So be sure to do your due diligence and vet out professionals to ensure that you're going to get the services that you need. And then also, if you're ever having trouble finding somebody, if you're in the Texas area, I recommend going to the Texas Professional Bee Removers Association. I'm actually one of the founding members there. I will be developing their website this year so that we can help professionals get connected with customers that are in need. You can always go on there and find a professional around you that is recommended. So you could also reach out to your local beekeepers association and ask for a recommendation. A lot of times they certainly have swarm capture lists. They don't always have cutout ones, but a lot of times they do. So utilize your resources, your local resources, and I think you will come out better in the end for it. I've reached a point where it's easier to dislodge using my fingers into the comb, because my tool just won't be able to really get up in there. Ooh, getting stung again. It's like the 4th or 5th stung. Here we go. Now it's worth getting out the bee vac. So I'm going to turn this on. It might get a little loud for you guys. Nothing I can do about that. I got like 3 bees in my glove right now. Oh well. Ow! Ah, right on the wrist. That's another thing about removals like this, where there's a lot of honey. It starts to soak into my bee suit, and it'll start weighing my suit down where it pulls the sleeve and exposes my wrist. With the job though. Lots of pollen in this one. All that right there, that is all pollen, which is also known as bee bread. Is what they will use to feed their young until they are old enough to switch to a honey diet. And here's some brood. Show you all that in a second. There we go. I'll see all that. This is all capped brood right here. Each one of those cells is a future worker bee. And if you notice right next to it, there's the pollen. That is typically how it is done. That way they don't have to like venture far to get, you know, pollen to feed to the young. Off my suit. There's another one in my glove. I'm sure you're going to leave your mark if I don't kill you first. Most of these got brushed off. There's lots of brood comb right there. Very, very healthy egg laying pattern. It's not too spotty. You know, these girls have been less than kind. This is not a horrible hive. Naturally, they're going to be a bit upset with me destroying their comb. So that's understandable. But once you get them into hive boxes where it's more manageable, where you can pull out the frames of comb without destroying it, that is where they will be less likely to attack. Especially if you make it a habit of leaving some sugar water afterwards. They will start to recognize your face and see you as a good thing. So, helpful little tip for anybody who's a beekeeper. think it's time for me to get a new hose for my bee vac too, because they are always getting clogged in this, and no matter how many times I've rinsed it out and everything, they just keep getting clogged. The only way to get it unclogged in the middle of a removal is to blow through it, which you have to be really careful about that, because you might just kiss a bee that won't be as reciprocating and you get stung on the lip. Man, it is so unnerving feeling all those bees like crawling around my wrist. There's not a lot I can do about it. Looking up this little cluster. See how well y'all are looking. Alright, I think y'all got a good view. Yep. Alright. Quite a few mud daubers in here. I believe they were here first, because mud daubers will not make a nest in the middle of the hive after it's already been established. So bees came over and commandeered the area. This is our home now. I start getting really nervous when the bees start getting really deep in there. That's where a lot of times they go into a cavity space that my thermal camera cannot detect. Alright, that's another really big chunk of honey. Can't really show it to you guys, as it would just drip honey all over it, but you'll have to just take my word for it. I'm reaching the end on this side, which is good. Yeah, we're good. Alright, good. That is very good. Ow. See, little mud dauber nest. Boy, they are really loving my wrist right now. One something that can be a challenge with removals like this, because the comb is in there so tight and you can't really get it out without just completely destroying the comb in the process and releasing that pheromones that agitates them. You know, after a while, they do recognize defeat. So if you start removing enough of their comb, eventually they're going to realize this is a losing battle, and they switch from defensive mode to pretty much reserve, and they will go into a hiding space where I cannot really access them. Got to be right there on my palm. And anyway, they will go into hiding into a cavity space where I just simply cannot really reach them. And I can't really chase them either, because as I start doing breaches to get to them, they'll just move over. And once they go into hiding like this, they will stay hiding for pretty much the rest of the day. So in situations like that, it's very common that I have to come back out after about a week. A lot of times the bees will move on their own, which is equally as good, if not better, because I keep them whole. The only downside is they might find somebody else's home to migrate into, but I mean, I have no control of that. Which I'm definitely thinking that this is going to be one of those cases, because I'm running into the last bit of comb here, and there should have been a much larger mass to be back up. So they're definitely hiding somewhere. That is it. That's all the comb. So yes, they are definitely hiding somewhere. You check that Eaves spot. It might be there. I'll give you all a little peek here. I'm going to vacuum these ones that you see up here. As you can see, they came up here to escape. But I can tell you that that is not all of them. Man, y'all are dirty. Can y'all even see anything? You sure can. Good. All right, well, it's not the cleanest job. I mean, it is what it is. But all right, well, that's it for the video, guys. I'm gonna end this here. Give you a second here. I gotta take off my gloves, which will be easier if I hose it down. Well, this video will get uploaded to YouTube. We've been doing a pretty good job doing weekly uploads there, so I highly encourage y'all to check that out. And that alarm's going to be annoying for ending. But since I get this glove off, I'll end this video and you don't have to listen to it anymore. All right. Let's see if I can. There we go. Alright guys, well I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to head over to my YouTube channel and show some love there. And I hope to see you guys next time.